At number 13, we have a trade. The Atlanta Hawks took Derik Queen, traded him to the Pelicans for a 2026 first, and the number 23 overall pick. What do you make of this trade for the Pelicans? Like, are you a fan of Derik Queen in general? Are you a fan of his fit with the Pelicans? What is this going to look like, Dion?
Not a huge fan of Derik Queen's NBA translation, but a massive fan of the Pelicans saying, okay, let's go do something now. I'm not a huge Yves Messi guy. I think he was like, there's always in every draft class, there's one guy that gets a little bit more opportunity than he deserves. Fans fall in love with him. I think that was Yves Messi this year. Not a huge Zion guy either, by the way. And they don't have much else on the roster outside of the guard position. So I think there's a ton of room. Now Trey Murphy, I'm a massive fan of Trey Murphy the third. They have JP now, that's my dog. And they got Jeremiah Fears, and now you're adding Derek Queen to that nucleus. I think it's a good swing for the fences, which at 13, what else are you supposed to do? I look at the best players available. You have Nolan Traore, Jace Richardson, Kasparis, Liam McNeely, Asa Newell, maybe Nick Clifford, Danny Wolf too. I mean, at 13, come on, man. Like, let's take Derek Queen. Let's see what happens. I think he showed enough in college to be worth a shot.
Yeah, this honestly feels a little low for Queen. I know like Givoni's mock had him just outside the lottery. That was updated a day ago. We're not that far removed from seeing outlets like No Ceilings, who puts out some of my favorite draft coverage, have him as a top five, top six prospect. I very much loved his game in college. He was one of my favorite players to watch. I thought he was a dog on the glass and just had such good skill as a passer, great footwork in the post. And then the combine happened. He was undersized, didn't test well athletically. And like the pessimist view is how many guys can you think who fit like the baby Jokic archetype who have succeeded in the NBA? Is it like Alperen Şengün and that's it? Like the
So I
below.
don't. Jury's still out on Sengun to me. Um, yeah, I think he's in that Sengun arc,
Hmm.
which I think you can make work. I think it's going to be really, really hard for Houston to make it work. I think it's going to be really, really hard for subsequently, like now New Orleans to make it work. So. I think it's really hard to build around a Jokic type.
Hmm.
The reason I think that is Jokic doesn't get enough credit for his defense.
I agree with you on that. He's not some dude who just gets targeted in the playoffs or hunted like you might think just by looking at his build. Then again, at this point, it's like everybody agrees he's the best player alive to where uh it kind of speaks for itself that he's a one of one to where of course it's tough to find a guy who's going to fit that mold and be, a fraction as good as Jokic is that you can build around. I will say with this fit here with the Pelicans, being able to run stuff through Derik Queen with him being a willing facilitator, a willing connective piece, I think that helps as you have guys who like the ball in their hands, whether it's Jeremiah Fears or Jordan Poole or Zion, like having that guy who can be that versatile piece and that you can sort of get interesting with some of the actions you run with him. Like you can run grenade actions with him. You can have him at the top of the key, initiating like a zoom action and making reads in that sense as well, and finding ways to create easy looks for the guys who are more prolific at scoring. It's just a matter of like how good can Derik Queen actually be? I know this is oversimplifying it, but it's like how good is he actually that you even run actions for him or you run sets for him as opposed to just like, all right, Derek, you're in there to grab boards. You're in there to set screens for Jordan and roll to the hoop and make plays off the short roll. And that's all you get to do. And don't be a sieve on defense. Like that might be it. Like he might just have to do that first, and you don't even see like some of those defensive questions, the athleticism questions prevent him from even having the opportunity to be that true like point center type.
Yeah, I don't want him to be a point center. I also don't want anyone to do that, by the way. Like, let's let Jokic do that and tell everybody else to stop immediately. So I think him being a point center within doing everything you just said is extremely valuable, though.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like you can
it
do it
just
in spurts basically, but it's not like the focal point of his game for sure, for sure.
Draymond Green point forward, right? Like that's the narrative. Is he actually that when Steph's on the court, or is he that when Steph isn't on the
Yeah,
court?
right. It's like a couple fun passing flashes a game. It's not like, yeah, with Jokic being a one of one, it's like he's the only player where every time down the court, the ball's touching his hands and he is the playmaking hub basically that everything revolves around. Yeah, I'm
That
with you on that. I think that's a really good way to contextualize it with Queen to where He's going to fill that role, hopefully do it competently, and then have those spurts where it's like, all right, let's get Derek a little bit involved and see if we can take advantage of some of his passing and playmaking skills.
No, absolutely. I think that's the perfect way to put it for him, the perfect role for him. Um, but like also like let Jeremiah cook now.
Good pick. I'm honestly a huge fan of what the Pelicans are doing on in terms of like just guys that I like. We'll see how it all fits together.